We often think of death in old age as something that happens suddenly, but the truth is, it's rarely a shock to the body. It's a gradual process. The real tragedy is that many families miss the warning signs of decline until it's too late to prepare. It's only when looking back that we realize the body had been sending subtle but clear messages for months, even years. These early signs, tiny, seemingly insignificant changes, are easily overlooked or dismissed as just getting older. But those small signs are actually the body's way of saying, "I'm slowing down." Take a moment to think about it. Has your loved one seemed a bit more forgetful, a little more fatigued, or perhaps they've stopped doing things they once loved? These changes might seem like nothing more than the inevitable wear and tear of aging, and that's where the danger lies. The truth is, it's often these small, quiet signals that indicate deeper, more serious issues. Weight loss that can't be explained, a sudden loss of appetite, or increasing difficulty with basic tasks. These aren't just part of the aging process. They're signals from the body that something is wrong, and it's important to recognize them early on. The challenge is that many of us don't want to acknowledge what's happening. We brush off these early signs because they don't seem urgent. Maybe a loved one's appetite has waned, or they've started napping more often. These can all seem like harmless side effects of aging. But the problem is, these signs don't just signal a simple slowdown. They often point to deeper issues, such as muscle wasting, poor nutrient absorption, or the progression of chronic illnesses like cancer, heart failure, or cognitive decline. Imagine the situation this way. You've noticed your parent becoming weaker. They're skipping meals more frequently, and when they do eat, it's smaller portions. You've seen their clothes hanging looser on their body. At first, you think it's just part of growing old, but as the weeks go by, they seem more and more exhausted, barely able to get out of bed, and their energy continues to fade. These aren't just signs of aging. They're alarms from the body, calling out for attention. What happens next is what makes this process all the more painful. Many families wait too long to act. By the time they realize the severity of the situation, it's often much harder to make the most of the time they have left. Without recognizing the signs early, families may miss the opportunity to prepare emotionally, make important decisions, or provide the comfort and dignity that's needed in the final stages of life. We all want to hold on to our loved ones as long as we can, but sometimes the best way to hold on is to let go of the denial. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean giving up hope. It means giving your loved one the best chance for a peaceful, comfortable, and dignified transition. The sooner you notice these small signs, the sooner you can provide the care and love they need, ensuring that their final months, weeks, and days are filled with meaning, rather than being clouded by unnecessary confusion or regret. So, what can you do? Start by paying closer attention to those minor changes. Don't brush them off. Whether it's weight loss, fatigue, or emotional withdrawal, these signs are the body's way of preparing for what lies ahead. Acknowledge them and take action now, before it's too late. Recognizing these subtle shifts early on can help you make the most of the precious time left and create lasting memories with your loved one. Have you ever noticed a loved one losing weight, even though they haven't changed their eating habits? At first, it might seem like a harmless side effect of aging, nothing more than the slow creep of time. But in reality, unintentional weight loss is often one of the first signs that something much more serious is happening inside the body. It's a signal, loud and clear, that things aren't functioning the way they should be. And yet, many of us ignore it, assuming it's just part of growing older. But weight loss in older adults, especially when it's unintentional, should never be dismissed lightly. When we lose weight without trying, it's more than just a change in appearance. It's the body's way of telling us that it's struggling. The most common culprits behind this decline are muscle wasting, poor nutrient absorption, or the progression of chronic conditions like cancer or heart failure. As the body ages, it often becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients, and muscle mass naturally starts to decrease. However, if this process accelerates, it can be a sign of something more severe. Without proper nutrition, the body begins to weaken and strength starts to slip away. That's when the real consequences begin: impaired immune function, an increased risk of falls, and a noticeable drop in energy and strength. But what causes this drastic weight loss in the first place? The answer often lies in appetite changes. For many elderly individuals, the once strong desire to eat starts to fade. The body doesn't signal hunger the way it used to. Even favorite foods lose their appeal. Meals are skipped, and when food is consumed, it's in much smaller quantities than before. What many people don't realize is that this lack of appetite isn't just due to aging. It's a physiological response to the body starting to shut down. The brain no longer tells the body it needs food as frequently, leading to a vicious cycle of weakness and reduced nourishment. The problem doesn't stop there. For those with chronic illnesses, weight loss can be an even more alarming sign. In diseases like cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease, the body's ability to process food and absorb nutrients diminishes significantly. Even the smallest meals can seem overwhelming, and the body's systems begin to slow down, unable to keep up with the demands placed on them. In these cases, weight loss isn't just about eating less. It's about the body's inability to process what's consumed, leading to further deterioration. As much as we want to help our loved ones, we can't always fix the issue by simply encouraging them to eat more. While offering favorite foods or providing high-calorie supplements might seem like an immediate solution, it's not always enough. When weight loss continues despite these efforts, it's essential to understand that the problem isn't just about diet. It's the body preparing for a much deeper transition. At this stage, focusing on comfort, hydration, and easy-to-eat foods may be more beneficial than forcing large meals. Recognizing the significance of unexplained weight loss can help families take action in time. It's a chance to step in and provide the support and care that's needed during this challenging period. If your loved one is experiencing significant weight loss, especially when combined with a reduced appetite or increased weakness, it's important to pay attention. These are not just minor inconveniences, they're signs that the body is signaling something far more serious. Understanding these signs early allows families to offer better care, make meaningful memories, and ensure their loved ones' final days are filled with dignity and comfort. Have you noticed that someone you love just can't seem to shake off their fatigue, no matter how much rest they get? It's not just the usual tiredness that comes from a long day or a busy week. This is a deep, persistent exhaustion that doesn't go away, even after a good night's sleep. And while it may seem like a normal part of aging, it's actually a warning sign that something more serious might be happening. When the body starts redirecting its energy to preserve vital functions, the everyday activities that once felt effortless begin to feel like insurmountable obstacles. Extreme fatigue is one of the clearest signals that the body is slowing down. As we age, our organs begin to work less efficiently, and the body becomes less able to maintain the same energy levels it once had. What used to be simple tasks, getting out of bed, walking to the kitchen, or even holding a conversation, can now feel overwhelming. This kind of fatigue isn't the kind that improves with a good nap or a weekend of rest. Instead, it's the kind that lingers, draining energy and leaving the person with little strength to do anything more than what's absolutely necessary. It's heartbreaking for families to watch loved ones who were once so active and engaged slowly retreat into their own exhaustion. The underlying cause of this fatigue isn't just getting older, it's a shift in how the body prioritizes energy. As organ function declines, the body begins to conserve its remaining energy for its most vital functions. The heart slows down, circulation weakens, and muscles don't get the same level of oxygen and nutrients they once did. As the body redirects energy to keep things like the heart and lungs working, it has little energy left to support everyday activities. This is why someone who was once able to walk across the room without a second thought may suddenly find themselves winded after just a few steps. What's even harder to see is how this fatigue can cause emotional withdrawal. The exhaustion isn't just physical, it's emotional too. Many elderly individuals become frustrated or embarrassed by their inability to perform the tasks they once handled with ease. They withdraw from conversations, stop participating in activities they once enjoyed, and even begin to isolate themselves from family and friends. It's not that they don't care, but their body simply doesn't have the energy to engage anymore. This emotional distance can make it even harder for families to connect, leaving both sides feeling a sense of helplessness and sadness. It's easy to assume that your loved one's fatigue is just part of getting older, but it's important to recognize when it becomes more than that. If someone you care about is struggling with deep, persistent fatigue, it's time to pay attention. The body may be signaling that it's in a state of decline, redirecting energy to preserve what's most essential. For those caring for elderly loved ones, it's crucial to offer support by understanding their limits. Pushing them to do more when they physically cannot will only lead to frustration and emotional pain. Instead, this is the time to cherish the quiet moments, to support them with love and compassion, and to make their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If your loved one is withdrawing emotionally and physically due to fatigue, this is the time to meet them where they are, providing comfort without expectations. Let them know they're loved, understood, and not alone. Their final months or years are not about pushing them to be what they once were, but making sure they feel peace and dignity in the time they have left. Fatigue is more than just being tired. It's a signal that the body is preparing for a transition. By recognizing this, we can be better prepared to offer the care and support they need. Have you ever watched someone you love slowly fade away, not just physically but mentally as well? It's a heartbreaking and often subtle process, one that many families don't recognize until it's too late. Cognitive confusion and withdrawal are two of the clearest signs that a person's body is preparing for the end. At first, it may seem like forgetfulness or simply part of getting older, but over time, it becomes clear that something deeper is at play. The brain, just like the rest of the body, needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. When it no longer receives these, cognitive decline sets in, and the person may begin to lose their ability to follow conversations, make decisions, and engage in social interactions. The changes can be gradual at first. Perhaps your loved one begins to forget things they used to remember easily, like names, dates, or everyday routines. They might lose track of conversations or repeat themselves without realizing it. These small lapses in memory and focus can be easy to dismiss as part of the aging process. But as the brain receives less oxygen and blood flow, these signs often progress. The person may become more confused, unsure of where they are or what's happening around them. It may feel like the person you knew is slipping away, and that's exactly what is happening on a biological level. But it's not just their mind that changes, it's their emotions too. As cognitive function declines, many elderly people withdraw emotionally, retreating from family, friends, and activities they once loved. They may stop participating in conversations, not because they don't care, but because it's simply too much for their brain to process. They may no longer be able to engage in social activities that once brought them joy. Even simple interactions can become overwhelming. The withdrawal is often painful for families to witness, but it's important to understand that it's not a choice. It's a sign that the brain can no longer keep up with the demands of everyday life. For families, seeing a loved one's cognitive decline can feel like losing them before they're actually gone. It's not just about memory loss, it's about the way their entire being changes. You may find yourself feeling helpless or unsure of how to respond, but this is when they need you most. Meeting them where they are, even if it's not where they used to be, is essential. Speak gently, offer reassurance, and understand that even if they seem disengaged, they can still feel your presence. The goal isn't to force them to remember or engage in a conversation. It's about providing comfort, love, and familiarity in their final stages. These changes are difficult, but they also offer an opportunity for families to cherish the time they have left. Recognizing cognitive confusion and emotional withdrawal early allows you to adjust your approach and offer better care. It gives you the chance to focus on creating a peaceful, safe environment where your loved one can feel as comfortable as possible. It's not about trying to fix the decline. It's about making sure their final moments are filled with dignity, love, and understanding. When cognitive confusion sets in, it's time to hold on to the things that really matter: presence, compassion, and quality time, even when words are no longer enough. Have you noticed that someone you love seems to be getting sick more often, or that even the smallest cut takes forever to heal? These may seem like minor issues at first, but they can actually be warning signs that the body is starting to wind down. As we age, our immune systems naturally weaken, and this gradual decline can lead to frequent infections, slow healing, and chronic wounds. It's not just that the body's ability to fight off infection decreases, but also that healing, which was once swift and efficient, becomes a long, drawn-out process. Frequent infections, such as pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, or skin infections, can take longer to resolve as the immune system struggles to keep up with the body's needs. What used to be a minor illness, something that would be dealt with quickly, can now become a persistent problem. Infections that once would have been easily fought off can now linger, causing discomfort and further draining the body's already limited energy. It's a frustrating cycle that families often witness firsthand, as antibiotics may become less effective or require more rounds of treatment. But it's important to recognize that this isn't a result of poor care or neglect. It's a sign that the body's natural defenses are simply no longer what they once were. In addition to infections, wounds and injuries that once healed in days may now take weeks or even longer to recover. Whether it's a small scrape or a surgical incision, the body's inability to repair itself as efficiently as before can be alarming. In the case of chronic wounds, such as pressure ulcers, the situation becomes even more serious. These wounds can become infected and difficult to treat, leading to further complications. Poor circulation, another hallmark of the aging process, limits the amount of oxygen and nutrients that reach the skin, slowing the body's ability to repair damaged tissue. It's a painful reality that not only affects physical health, but also emotional well-being, as individuals may feel increasingly vulnerable or helpless. Seeing a loved one struggle with infections or slow-healing wounds can be heartbreaking. It's easy to feel like you're doing something wrong, but the truth is, the body's diminishing ability to fight off infections and heal itself is a natural part of aging. When these signs appear, they often indicate that the body is preparing for its final stage. This is when families need to focus not on fixing the problem, but on providing comfort and care. Instead of pushing for more aggressive treatments, which may only prolong suffering, it's often more helpful to focus on keeping your loved one hydrated, ensuring their skin is clean and moisturized, and minimizing stress on their body. The challenge is that these signs can often be overlooked or misinterpreted. Families may become frustrated, hoping that one more round of antibiotics will do the trick. But the reality is, as the immune system weakens, the focus should shift toward comfort care. Making the person as comfortable as possible, whether that means offering soothing food, keeping them warm, or simply sitting by their side, becomes the priority. This is a time to honor their needs, not just medically, but emotionally and spiritually. In the end, understanding that infections and slow healing are signs of a body slowing down allows families to prepare for what's ahead. It's a time to cherish the remaining moments, offer love, and provide comfort, making the journey as peaceful as possible. Have you noticed that someone you care about has been breathing more slowly or irregularly, or perhaps their hands and feet feel colder than usual. These subtle changes in breathing and circulation can be more than just signs of aging. They're often indications that the body is preparing for its final stage. As we age, and especially in the later stages of life, the body starts to redirect energy and prioritize essential functions, which include slowing down breathing and circulation. While it may seem like a normal part of getting older, these changes should be recognized as signals that the body is winding down, and they can be powerful clues in understanding what is happening inside. Slower, shallower breathing is one of the most noticeable and concerning signs. If your loved one's breaths seem more labored or spaced out, this is often a sign that the body's organs, including the lungs, are functioning less efficiently. In the final stages, the body doesn't need the same level of oxygen to sustain itself, so the breathing slows down as a natural process. Sometimes the breaths may become irregular, alternating between deep and rapid breaths followed by longer pauses. This change in pattern, known as Cheney-Stokes respiration, is common as the body nears its end. While it can be unsettling to witness, it's important to understand that this irregular breathing is simply the body's way of adjusting its energy expenditure as it moves toward shutting down. In addition to changes in breathing, the reduction in circulation is a key indicator that the body is prioritizing vital functions. You may notice that the hands, feet, and even the ears start to feel colder to the touch, a result of the body redirecting blood flow away from the extremities and toward the vital organs, like the heart and brain. Skin may appear pale or have a bluish tint, especially around the fingertips and toes. These changes happen because the heart no longer pumps blood with the same strength, and the body is trying to conserve energy by focusing its resources on the organs that are most essential for survival. The heart itself, too, starts to slow down, which can lead to a gradual decrease in overall circulation. This slowing of the circulatory system often results in shortness of breath, even with minimal movement. A person who used to walk easily across the room may now struggle to get to the bathroom without feeling winded. These small but significant changes can be alarming to loved ones who are watching the decline, but it's important to remember that they are signs of the body's natural process of shutting down. At this stage, the best thing you can do is to provide comfort. Keep the room at a comfortable temperature, offer small sips of water, and be patient with any breathing difficulties. Sometimes, elevating the head with pillows can help ease breathing, especially if fluid has started to build up in the lungs. This is not the time to try and force your loved one to take deeper breaths or engage in strenuous activities. Instead, it's time to offer gentle support, help them feel at ease, and allow their body to rest. Understanding these changes in breathing and circulation can be emotional and difficult, but it's crucial for helping you navigate this challenging time. These signals tell us that the body is in its final phase, and while it can be difficult to accept, knowing what to expect allows us to respond with love, compassion, and understanding. The focus should be on creating a peaceful, comfortable environment where your loved one feels safe and cared for in their last moments. It's one of the most difficult realities we face, watching a loved one slowly transition from life to death. But what if you had the chance to prepare for those last days, ensuring comfort, dignity, and peace for both you and your loved one? The truth is, the body often gives us subtle but clear signs long before the final stage of life, and recognizing these signs early can help families provide the support they need during this deeply emotional time. It's not about fearing the inevitable, but about facing it with clarity and understanding so that you can cherish every moment. As difficult as it may be, understanding the warning signs of decline gives families a chance to act with love, patience, and preparation. Recognizing symptoms such as significant weight loss, extreme fatigue, cognitive confusion, or changes in breathing patterns can empower you to make informed decisions. Instead of waiting until the very end, When things might feel chaotic or overwhelming, you can be proactive in providing better care, making important medical choices, and helping your loved one transition in the most peaceful way possible. This early recognition allows you to adjust your mindset and focus not on trying to reverse the inevitable, but on ensuring your loved one's final moments are filled with comfort and support. For families, it's easy to miss these subtle signs because they often seem like just part of the aging process. A drop in appetite, a bit more fatigue, or a few forgetful moments might be brushed off as just getting older. But what if that's not the case? What if these signs are clues to a deeper transition? By learning to recognize them, you shift from reaction to preparation. You're no longer caught off guard, scrambling for answers when the time comes. Instead, you're able to provide the care and attention your loved one needs, emotionally and physically, during the final stages. But it's not only about medical decisions, it's also about cherishing every moment. Recognizing these changes early means you don't have to wait until it's too late to create meaningful memories. You have the opportunity to say what needs to be said, share stories, and simply be present with your loved one, giving them the gift of your time and attention. The fear of not knowing what to expect often leads to missed opportunities for connection, but by preparing, you can avoid regret and make the most of the precious moments that remain. There is no magic fix, no way to stop the inevitable, but the key lies in what you can control: your response, your care, and your love. By understanding what your loved one is going through, you can provide not just physical care, but emotional and psychological comfort. You can help them feel safe, valued, and not alone, even in their final hours. Recognizing these signs allows you to step into this time with grace, to walk alongside them with dignity, and to make the difficult journey just a little bit easier. When you know what's ahead, you can be the pillar your family needs, not just for your loved one, but for yourself. These are moments you'll never get back, and knowing what to expect can bring a sense of peace, making those last stages of life more comfortable, dignified, and filled with love. Recognizing these signs early means you're not just preparing for the end. You're honoring the life that was and giving your loved one the best possible goodbye. Thank you for being with us today. We truly value your thoughts and would love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, sharing something new you learned and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your insights inspire us, and your feedback fuels our passion to keep delivering meaningful content. If this video resonated with you and you found it helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Your support allows us to continue creating content that informs and motivates. We're grateful for your time, and we can't wait to connect with you again in the next video.